Any horror game fans must be screaming inside after getting a taste of the Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. Toy factory employees turn into horrible toy experiments only to look like a cheap version of Chucky. That's what we're dealing with. But of course, with much better plot lines and horror elements, the recent installation of the game has revealed tons about the game's lore, and we're here to unwrap all of it. First up, Poppy Playtime Ch.2's lore is darker than expected. It's hard to expect a game about toys going dark, but we know how it goes when you underestimate toys, especially creepy ones. Long story short, Poppy Playtime is actually about staff members of a mysterious toy company being turned into violent toys. The players have to find their way through the horror-filled factory only to have their childhood trauma come to life: rogue dolls. While playing, there were many things players were curious about, including the identity of the real villain, the truth about Huggy Wuggy, and so on. However, what players didn't expect was the story taking a dark turn. We get it, Poppy Playtime is a classic horror fest, but the way Poppy's dark side was revealed, it was chills all over. Players had been giving out many popular theories all along, including the true nature of Poppy. Poppy has been playing the damsel in distress throughout the game, as the players had to rescue her from mommy longlegs and whatnot. And even though she does pay you back for the rescue, it doesn't feel like she's helping at all once you look at it closely. Poppy gives players the code for operating the train in the playground area and adjusts the train tracks after you rescue her. You may think she's helping you, but the train tracks take you deeper into the factory instead of the exit. These are enough to make Poppy into a villain, but does everyone agree? Many may think that she betrays the players as she sends them towards the play care area where they crash. She only gives out a cryptic message, too perfect to lose to the player, but doesn't clearly reveal her intentions. Poppy's tone in her speech towards the end of the game sometimes comes off as menacing, and sometimes it seems that she has good intentions. After the players find a new set of VHS tapes, it's confirmed that the unethical research conducted in the factory goes way darker than we expected. Who was Poppy before she became a doll? What are her intentions? Is she a friend or a mastermind? Some of these reveals may be saved for the next chapter, but until then, players have to be on their toes inside the Playtime Co. So what are the biggest reveals of Poppy Playtime Chapter 2? Poppy's dark side isn't the only big lore reveal in Poppy Playtime 2. That's right. One of the biggest reveals about the lore is that Huggy Wuggy is not Experiment 1006 that everyone thought he'd be. Experiment 1006 is claimed to be a violent product of the research conducted in the toy factory, and many considered Huggy Wuggy to fit the description. On the contrary, a claw-like mechanical hand that belongs to a mysterious monster is revealed to be Experiment 1006, or in other words, the prototype. As Mommy Longlegs is being churned into plastic mush in the industrial shredder, we see an eerie mechanical hand appear out of nowhere and take away her remains. Yikes! At first, players think the exposed arm bones and spindly fingers must be an unfinished version of the Mommy Longlegs, but it turns out that the hand is part of a mysterious figure, which may be the violent toy that everyone was dreading about. The VHS tapes found after the demise of Mommy confirm that the mysterious toy is the prototype, which also gets a mention in Chapter 1. Other than Huggy Wuggy being Experiment 1170, one of the biggest theories to take place in the game is that the factory workers or human beings were actually used to create toy monsters. The theory is confirmed in the note found at the water treatment station. The notes that say Mommy Longlegs is indeed Experiment 1222, and that the subject's name was Marie Payne. This theory was always heavily implied in Chapter 1, but was never explicitly confirmed. However, two more notes found in the game station challenges drops a bombshell that the organization was, in fact, testing children to make them future candidates. That's even worse than Child's Play black magic spin. Lastly, what is the importance of the poppy flowers? Players always wondered about the significance of the poppy flowers in the game. An author's note revealed that the poppies have life-altering qualities and play a major role in the experiments conducted at Playtime Co. Fans also believe that the players were deliberately misled to believe that Poppy Playtime is actually the poppy flowers. Since Poppy Playtime was kept behind a door surrounded by a poppy flower painting, it was easy to assume the obvious, but the name Poppy is actually derived from the famous poppy mixture used by the toy factory for their experiments. Elliot Ludwig's letter in The Office explains that the early experiments were conducted on rats. When the rat died, it was put in a mixture of poppy flowers and a gel preservative to resurrect it. Well, we know what happens when mad scientists try to bring back the dead. They end up with monster toys. It's all theorized that the poppy mixture was used to bring back people as dolls, or can be used as a type of fuel for the doll people. Well, that explains a lot. Next, in related news, a cameo from famous YouTuber featured in Poppy Playtime 2. When it comes to spotting Easter eggs and cameos, fans are unbelievable. The second installment of the horror survival game, Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, has fans in fits as a famous YouTuber makes a surprise cameo. The players encountered vengeful and violent toys throughout the game as they navigate their way through a creepy toy factory. There's no doubt that YouTubers' reactions and reviews played a big role in popularizing the game, and that's why fans were quick to notice a familiar face in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. YouTuber Jacksepticeye has a fascination with the horror genre, and that's why he can be seen playing a common Playtime Co. employee in an in-game tape. The content creator is an employee named Marcus, who is describing his experiences to the interviewee about his encounter with Mommy Longlegs. He's describing the main antagonist of the game as something that is 50 feet long with 1,000 legs. Jacksepticeye is no stranger to surprise cameos, as he has already appeared in The Escapist 2 and Murder House. He has over 28 million followers and even appeared as himself in the Hollywood movie Free Guy. And now fans want a Poppy Playtime and Five Nights at Freddy crossover. Poppy Playtime is creepy as hell, and it gets way creepier in Chapter 2. While the horror survival has a dark lore getting the best of players, fans want the game to offer a more bone-chilling experience. Since Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 is an instant hit, players want Chapter 3 to discover other storylines, including a crossover with Five Nights at Freddy's. FNAF is another indie horror game where players have to survive haunted animatronics. It's easy to spot that Poppy Playtime may have taken some inspiration from FNAF, and that's exactly why a crossover would be so dope. The similarities in terms of theme, story, and shark-toothed monsters are reason enough to make players have nightmares if they're seen together. Both the games are household names, and it's about time that there's a universe within the gaming world like Marvel or DC. There should be continuing storylines, badass crossovers, and even spin-offs. Just consider Kissy Missy from Poppy Playtime haunting the halls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Absolutely bonkers. Finally, how does Poppy Playtime 2 compare to its predecessor? Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 and 2 both follow the gameplay where players will explore the abandoned and almost seemingly haunted Playtime Co. In terms of comparison, both of the installments have a different antagonist. Chapter 1 deals with the infamous Huggy Wuggy, while things take a turn in Chapter 2, and we are introduced to Mommy Longlegs, the horrific toy with 1,000 legs, as some Playtime Co. employees would say. There are loads to discover in Chapter 2, more puzzles, more time to beat the enemy, and more areas to explore. From a lore standpoint, in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, there are loads of revelations in the recent installment than its predecessor. Players acquire a fresh set of VHS tapes that reveal the truth about Huggy Wuggy, and possibly hint toward a new character. Kissy Missy is also featured in the gameplay, and some may even point the villain sign toward her. However, the biggest difference is that the story isn't focused on a single monster toy. There are also theories proving the dark side of Poppy and that she's not what she seems to be. It's easy to see that Chapter 2 is a big improvement in every aspect, and that we can see the story unfolding more in Chapter 3. That's a wrap for this video. How was your experience playing Poppy Playtime Chapter 2? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!